Hi friends, I'm Rosa. Welcome. So we're talking about books today and I'm so excited. I have a book haul. Cannot remember the last time I did one of these, so I'm so excited to sit down and talk about new books. Even though, disclaimer, I suck at talking about books that I have not read yet. Like I was about to say read about, but I definitely have. But I've just not read them yet. So like take the synopses with a grain of salt, okay? But quickly before we're going to jump into it, I will leave links to all of the books in the description box down below if you want to check them out. I have about, was it 11? 13 special editions, 1 graphic novel, and then 10 what I think is like standard paperback romance books mainly. So we're going to go through them. We're going to have some fun with it. We're going to look at the stunning editions as well that I have. A couple of ones I know that you guys are going to be super excited for. So let's get started. We're starting out with a book that I'm actually reading right now. So I have A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. I actually have 2 editions of it because I have the Illumicrate one, which has the stenciled printed edges, not stenciled, printed edges. It has a recolor of the original cover. It has this super cool artwork on the naked cover as well, which is so fitting. I'm reading the book at the moment. I'm like 32% into it, and this is great for what the book is about. I see the vibe that they've gone for. Also a very stunning spine too. And then we have end pages that look like this. We have Effie and Preston. And in the back they're the same but mirrored. And the water and everything. This is a vibe and it fits the book perfectly. So this is the Illumicrate edition, and this is actually the first time I get to say this on the channel, but because they've announced it since the last time I have done an unboxing, and yes, but I'm currently repping for Illumicrate, which I'm so excited for. So I haven't gotten my November box yet, but it'll arrive. But it'll be my first rep box for Illumicrate, and I'm so excited for it. But this one was the October book, I think. October or September. One of the two. I think might possibly actually have been September. But yeah, got the same book in the Owl Crate because it's a YA fantasy. So I got the same book in the YA Owl Crate box. This one has a redesigned cover, which has a stunning vibe. The only enemy is the sea. It says on the back. It has the original US cover art printed onto the hardback with a quote on the back as well, spine looking like this. We have end pages that look like this, and in the back they look like this. And I've not gotten to this moment yet, so I'm like, because right now they're definitely at this like weird enemies to lovers situation stage of the situation. I don't really know. They've just not gotten there yet. We also have landscaping art on the inside of the dust jacket that you can reverse because there's a title, and that house definitely looks like it's falling apart. That's kind of what I imagined for the house, to be honest. Like, it looks like it's falling apart. It looks like it could, a windy day and that house is gone. You know what I mean? Like, it's just gonna be gone. But this book has a very kind of mystery vibe to it. It's a bit of like, it has a not necessarily darker vibe to it, but there's a horror feel to the book. Like, there's just something lurking beneath the surface, ironically. Anyway, a lot of talk about the drowning and water and fae and stuff. So we follow our lead girl Effie, who is an architecture student, and she has submitted an entry into this, like, I almost want to call it a competition, but they're trying to pick someone to renovate the house of this very famous author who has passed. And so she wins and she takes off to the house. Turns out there's a literature student there who's called Preston, who is, I don't know how much else I can say actually about that whole situation. But they have differing opinions on this author and there's some rivalry going on as well. And Effie has some comments on women and not negative comments, but like, it's not easy being a woman in architecture school and wanting to go to literature school but not being allowed to because you're a woman and stuff. So stuff like that. Bit of commentary now and then. So yeah, but it's lovely so far. Very much enjoying the vibe. Like, you get sucked into the vibe once you get started reading. So yes, I'm excited to continue it tonight, and we'll see what happens when I hit the 50% mark. But that was the first book, A Study in Drowning. Then we have another Illumicrate book, which is After the Forest by Kel Woods, which is a redesigned cover. We also have these stunning printed edges that are just, I mean, gorgeous. Just gorgeous. This whole book honestly is a vibe. Naked cover looks like this. It looks like a book, which is quite nice, quite cool. Both has a foiling but also art on the cover. We have end pages that look like this in the front where she's baking, and in the back they look like this. And this is like a cute cartoony kind of fairy tale vibe. This book definitely gives me fairy tale retelling. I just cannot remember what it's about actually, which is kind of embarrassing. Something about baking. Oh, it's a Hans and Greta retelling, kind of. Or like 20 years after the witch in the gingerbread house, Greta and Hans are struggling to get by. So it's like a retelling of them, but in the future, after their story takes place. Their father and stepmother are long dead. Hans is deeply in debt from gambling, and the countryside lies in ruin, its people starving in the aftermath of a brutal war. Greta has a secret though, the witch's grimoire, secreted away and whispering in Greta's ears for the past 2 decades, and the recipe inside that makes the best gingerbread you've ever tasted. As long as she can bake, Greta can keep her small family afloat. But in a village full of superstition, Greta and her mysteriously addictive gingerbread, not to mention the rumors about her childhood misadventures, are a source of gossip and suspicion. And now dark magic is returning to the woods, and Greta's magic she's still trying to understand, may be the only thing that can save her if it doesn't kill her first. So definitely like a fairy tale retelling. That's what it gives. I think this is, I can't remember if it's young adult or adult. Definitely fantasy. I wish I could remember if it was young adult or adult. It's kind of giving, I'm gonna look it up for you, seemingly adult. So just want to make sure I get it right because there's a big difference between the two genres, age brackets. I think I want to call it genres. So yes, we have After the Forest, stunning edition, beautiful, can't wait to display these edges on my shelves. That'll definitely need to be rearranged soon, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that, but we'll see. Next up we have one from Afterlight. There's actually a lot of, I swear there's a couple of other books that are not from Illumicrate, but this is from Afterlight, which is owned by Illumicrate. This was the, what month is it? September? I think it was a September book. It's Cleat Cute by Meryl Wilsner, and as per usual with Afterlight, it is a romance. This one has like a color scheme to it that definitely gives this sort of ice cream. Like I can't remember what the ice cream is called, but you see what I mean? There's something about the color scheme that gives ice cream. We have these printed edges that have the ombre as well, or not an ombre, but like my camera does not want to focus at all. Anyway, and also a ball, because this is a soccer / football, whatever you want to call it, focus book. We have also, the cover is a recolor. We have foiling on the naked cover with the 2 lead girls as well. Yellow cover, purple pinkish foil. Spine looks like this. There's end papers that look like this in the front, and I can't remember if they're different in the back. Oh, they are. She's braiding her hair, super cute. But this is basically women in sports, women in football or soccer, whatever you want to call it. I prefer to say football, so deal with it. And also rivals, because they're basically taking up the same spot in the formation that they play in. So I think this girl, the redhead, comes in later on, whereas she's been on the team. I could be mixing them around, like I don't really fully know who's who, but I think she's been on the team for like 10 years or something and basically been like a star player. She gets injured, they have to bring her in. Again, not sure who's who, but I'm just, yes, take it with a grain of salt. And a rivalry sparks between the two, but also something else sparks between the two, and ... We got women in sports. Next up, we have one that I'm excited for. So they put The Last Wish by Ansha Sapkowski on sale. They had it like years ago, I think. This is an old edition. It's by Illumicrate, and they did like a past books sale, and I basically jumped on it because I've been wanting this edition ever since I saw it. I think it's so good. I think it looks so good. So I have it now. Also loved the book, by the way. The Last Wish is a great book, but it is a naked edition, so no dust jacket, with a very simplistic design, just white grayish background with a wolf, and then this like black forest formation down here. The spine looks like this. Don't love the spine, but I love the front of the cover. And also there's a little bit on the back as well. I've just been watching video essays on The Witcher, the series, so it feels funny talking about it now, but basically, in short, you follow the Witcher. His name is, or a Witcher, because there's more than one, but his name is Geralt, and he is, witchers are basically created from humans. It's a mutation thing, it's fine, to hunt down monsters, and basically that's what they do. So it's a bit like an adventure book. There's some comedy in there, there's fairy tale vibes as well. A lot of these stories, and this one especially, seem to be based off of fairy tales actually. So you have like a Snow White and the 12 Dwarfs retelling, I think it is. There's a couple of different ones, and it's just kind of funny trying to spot them in this. So yes, so happy I have this edition. Yes. A sequel to a highly, or not a sequel to a highly anticipated book. A very highly anticipated sequel, Foxglove by Adeline Grace. It's the sequel to Belladonna. This is the Fairy Loot edition, and my gosh, I'm so happy she's here. So Fairy Loot sales are kind of funny these days. Like, you buy books and then 7 months later, suddenly they turn up. Like, I don't know, kind of funny. Oh, the signature matches. The signature matches the edges. That is like my favorite thing ever. I love that. Thank you. Thank you, Adeline Grace, for doing that. So I haven't read this book yet. I'm very much waiting for me to be able to not read this edition, I think. Although I did read my Belladonna, my Fairy Loot edition of it, so maybe it's okay. Why does it have nail marks? That's not from me. That is so rude. I want to choose to ignore it. Anyway. Well, she has arrived and she's beautiful. The cover is a recolor. I think the original is like purple, pinkish. Just like they did with the Belladonna edition, they've done naked cover with, or they've done art on the naked cover, which, you know, very heavily inspired by this, so they fit together. It also has end pages done by Monoline Art, who's one of my favorites. So I just, yes. Yes. Just big yes. And I'm guessing this is Death. Do we see his face now? Is this a thing? I don't remember seeing his face in the first book. Is this a spoiler? Should I spoiler this? I don't know. Or unless it's someone else. I don't know, but he could be Death. Because like gray hair, gray eyes. It's like all colors leach out of him. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm excited to see where this goes though. I'm super excited. It could also be one of the other characters, I don't really know. Just very, very excited for it. Belladonna in short is about, it's young adult fantasy. It's about Belladonna, who, is that her name? Is her name Belladonna? I'm actually now like, no, her name is Signa, right? Thing about Signa is that she almost died when she was a baby or something, and then everyone else died around her, but she survived. And so Death has been captivated with her ever since then and has followed her as she's grown up, and this captivation has turned into something, and so everyone around Signa though is a little bit wary of her because of these quite weird circumstances with everyone dying around her back then, and there's a whole lot of like things. And then someone gets sick, and oh right, she can also like do something. Like she can do something? That was so descriptive. I heard that, you know, I heard that, I caught myself. She can feel death, like if death is close to taking someone's life, she can feel like they're close to dying, if that makes sense. And so there's some things going on. I cannot really say much about the first one, and I can't say anything about this, so I want to move on, but I'm very excited. Another Fairy Loot edition I have is If I Have to Be Haunted by Miranda Sun, which is a young adult fantasy romance, but as far as I've understood, it's also contemporary. I've not read this yet, even though it was on my November TBR. I've just been reading books on my Kindle. Well, this is actually also on my Kindle. I have no excuses, okay? None. But this follows a girl who can also, like, she can talk to ghosts or something. She doesn't really have the time for that though, because she's busy with school. But then she bumps into a ghost he's the ghost of like or he's still him, but he used to be the golden boy of the school, and he's basically like, you have to resurrect me. And she's like, I do not have time for this. But you know, he's not taking no for an answer, so that is the thing. And I think that's basically what it's about. So this is again Fairy Loot edition. It's a recolor of the original colorway, which I cannot remember what it looks like, but I think it's more orange than this one. This one is very, very pink. We have these absolutely stunning, gorgeous, stunning edges. Yes, I'm obsessed. And to go with the vibe of everything being very pink, we have end pages that look like this in the front. They look slightly different in the back, I think. Or maybe I'm just... Nope, they're the same. But they're also foiled, by the way. Like, there's a little bit of silver foil here and there. It is also signed, or is it a digital? It's a digital signature, but there is one. And it also has art on the naked cover. This is up for 2 lead characters. So he's the ghost, as you can probably tell. She's the one who's able to talk to ghosts. Lots of pinkness on the background. It's actually giving fall a lot. Like much fall vibe. Much fall vibe, much wow. And also we have a reversible dust jacket art. So, or reversible art on the dust jacket. Yes, so if you'd rather have like a completely original dust jacket, you can just swap it around, and we have our 2 lead characters on there with a title and everything. Again, super pink and purple. I love the vibe. Also would definitely be careful falling in love with a ghost. I don't know. My mom made me watch Ghost when I was a kid. I have learned not to fall for ghosts. It only ends in heartbreak. Do not fall for ghosts. But anyway, that is If I Have to Be Haunted. And I don't know if I managed to read this before the month is over. I'm kind of in a phase like I don't love YA contemporary books, even if they have a dash of fantasy in there. It's just not my vibe currently. So we'll see. But I'm still willing to give it a chance. The time just has to be right, you know? Another Fairy Loot edition. Okay, there's actually going to be a couple, well, 2 more. Then an Crate, and we got some other ones. But we have The Forest Grimm by Catherine Purdie. I think that's how their last name is pronounced. This is also a recolor. I think the original is like an off-white-ish kind of color. This is very green. We have stunning, beautiful edges. As you can probably tell, another fairy tale retelling. This one kind of gives Little Red Riding Hood, which I think it's actually also a retelling of. We have another digital signature, and I'm getting a replacement for this, which is currently on its way. So it's just slowly arriving here, so the foil on my book is a little bit damaged, but hopefully the new one will look okay without any damages to it. I don't really know, but it's hard to tell on camera. It's just very scratched, and like, you know, you can see it on the letters, like here and down there. But naked cover with foiling. Also on the back we have a little mushroom. We have end pages that look like this, also with foil on them, as you can tell. And in the back they look like this, and more foiling as well. So I guess those are lead characters. I love these edges. I think these edges are great. I want to see more edges like this where it's not just taken from the front cover, and just like, I don't mind it with the like the black and then goes into color, as long as there's like a motif and it looks nice like this. I like these edges. But also I believe this one actually came with, yes it did, art on the dust jacket as well, so it's reversible. It's very dark, a little bit difficult to tell in the camera, I know, but I think it's gonna fit with the vibe of the book, because, you know, fairy tale retelling. And Grimm stories are pretty grim as well. Can I remember what this is about at all? No. Not even a little bit. But once upon a time, villagers would whisper their desires to the Book of Fortunes, which is this book, yes, and its pages would reveal how to obtain them. All was well until someone used the book for evil. Afterwards, the branches of the Forest Grimm snatched the book away and the village withered. The villagers tried to make amends with the forest, but every time someone crossed its border, they never returned. Despite the warning from her fortune teller grandmother, Clara embarks on the journey into the deadly forest to procure the Book of Fortunes, to reverse the curse and save her mother and village. Clara's friend Axel puts aside his longing for her to join the journey. The young travelers set their minds to defying fate and daring to accomplish what no one else has been able to before. Alas, the forest, alive with dark, deadly twists on some of our most well-known fairy tales, has a mind of its own. So definitely like fairy tale retelling, but it sounds like it's going to be a little bit of a mix of different things. But it does give me a Little Red Riding Hood with a grandmother and everything. Or not grandmother, but mother. So yeah, there's something. She might just be dressed like her. I don't know what it is. There's a wolf on the cover. Like, I feel like I'm onto something, okay? Just, it's a vibe. Yes, I'm sticking to it. Young adult fantasy though, with romance, as you can probably tell from the synopsis. And then we have the last Fairy Loot edition, and this one is stunning. The Hurricane Wars by Thea Kwanson, I think that's how their last name is pronounced, redesigned cover. This is a very, very bold and brave color combination. The orange yellow with the very, very vibrant purple. Brave. And I adore it so much. This is stunning. And then you see the edges and they're just like, wow. What? Beautiful. Like, oh, yes. You know when they say, like, they talk about Fairy Loot editions, standout Fairy Loot editions? They're talking about editions like this. Like, it just, everything comes together so beautifully. Same with Daughter of the Moon Goddess, even though that one doesn't have a redesigned cover. It was standout edition for sure. What other ones do I have? A couple? I do have more than those two. I got a couple more, but I cannot remember them for the life of me. Oh! The Adventures of Amina El-Sirafi, also a standout to me. But this is one, and it's so lovely to see finally in the adult subscription box. This is Fantasy Romance. I've not read the book yet, but I do have an arc for it, so I kind of have to. But we have seen, oh, also back of the cover looks like this. There's a quote. You can pause and read if you want to. Also lots of foil, gold foil. And then we have art on the naked cover with foil on top. Also on the back it looks like this. The spine looks like this, so quite pretty. And stunning foiled end pages. And in the back we have our lead dude, stunning foiled end pages as well. And it is also, I think, digitally signed, so it'll look the same in every book. They've done a lot of those lately. I'm not really sure why. I guess higher demand means more copies, and that means the authors can't sign, but still, I don't know. I don't mind digital signatures, but I just like proper signatures better. But also I'm not going to sit here and say that the author has to make like 10,000 signatures, because I do not wish injuries on other people. But anyway, as for the synopsis, because I cannot remember what it's about. Other than light and dark fighting, that's basically it. Taliesin was left on the steps of a Sardovian orphanage as a baby. All she has ever known is the Hurricane Wars as her people fight for freedom from the tyranny of the Night Emperor Gaheris. But are they truly her people? Taliesin dreams of one day finding where she comes from, her family, and the source of the magic that flows through her veins like sunlight. Alaric of House Asinist, master of the Shadow-Forged Legion and Gaheris' only son and heir, has been owned into a weapon by his father. Tasked with obliterating the neighboring Sardovian Allfold, Alaric focuses on only one goal: extinguish all threats to the Night Empire with his armies and his storm ships and his shadow magic. That is until he sees Taliesin burning brightly on the battlefield with the same light magic that slew his grandfather, turned his father into a monster, and ignited the decade-long Hurricane Wars. He tries and fails to kill her, something about her making him pause, allowing his now greatest enemy to slip through his fingers. But a new horror emerges from across the Eversea, one that promises to cause even more devastation than the Hurricane Wars. Only Taliesin and Alaric can stop it. Will these mortal foes be able to come together, or will they end up destroying each other and dooming their world in the process? So, enemies having to work together. We love to see it. We love to see it. I think this was majorly hyped when it was, like, before it came out, and then it's kind of gone a little bit downhill from there, like a little bit, but I'm still willing to give it a chance, because you never know. Fantasy romance either gets me or it doesn't, so we'll see. But stunning, beautiful, gorgeous, ugh, love it edition. Then we have an Alucrate edition before two Illumicrate, and then a Waterstones edition, which is exciting because I've never had one of those in my videos before. But we have this Dark Descent by Kaylin Josephson, sorry, which is Alucrate again. So this is a redesigned cover. The original is like very, very bright, very like beige, golden, white-ish. This is quite the contrast to that. On the back, we have a quote that says, "Promise me you will be fearless." And, alright, this has stenciled edges. Mine are slightly blurred. I rep for Alucrate, so when I get edges that are slightly blurred or slightly flawed in some way, I don't want to write them about it because I already got the book for free. I don't know, I don't want to be that person, you know? So I'm okay with it, but you can see that they're very clear on the top. and also on the bottom. It's just that these are like slightly blurry. It's lovely to see them trying out stenciled edges because as far as I know, stenciled edges requires a lot of manual work, and Cleat does a lot of books, so a lot of copies. So yeah, I don't really fully know the process of it, but that's as far as I've understood. I could be wrong though, so yes. But we have a black naked cover with silver foil, and this says, "Do not be afraid of your own power, embrace it." Lots of animals on here. There's a cat, bird, and a horse. This also has something to do with horse races, by the way, so you'll see a little bit of that on here. We have end pages that look like this. This is a vibe. Beautiful. Again, not him. A horse, a dude, and who I'm guessing is our lead girl. And she's a redhead, so that's plus points for you, book. Oh, stunning, beautiful. The lighting, oh, this lighting is gorgeous. I love this, just like this outline here of lighting. Oh, it's so pretty. Her hair looks stunning too. Anyway, gorgeous. Very dark, but yes. Cleat's books lately have had inbound letters, which is very exciting. We also have a signature over here. If you want to pause and read the letter, feel free to do so. And yeah, as far as I can remember though, which honestly I cannot, so we're gonna read out loud the synopsis. I know, it's terrible, I'm sorry. The Russell family is famous throughout Enderlane as breeders of enchanted horses, but their prestige is no match for their rising debts. To save her family's range, Mekira Russell is left with only one option. Enter the Ilanir, a treacherous cross-country horse race known as much for its high body count as its enticing prize money. To have any chance of success, Mekira will have to recruit Ariel Kadar, a talented but unlicensed enchanter who creates golems in place of enchanted animals, and Damien Adair, a dashing young lord in the midst of a fierce succession battle. Both have mysterious reasons of their own to help Mekira, as well as their own blood feuds to avenge. Is this a love triangle? Are they two different guys? Oh, they might be. And then it says it's steeped in Jewish folklore. It's a spellbinding new fantasy with romance and action and a dangerous world. So, horse racing. For the horse girlies out there, YA fantasy with romance. Possibly a love triangle. I don't know. I guess we'll find out one day. I'm recording this on a Saturday night and I can hear people having fun with other people around me, and I'm just sitting here with my camera talking about books. I'm completely okay with that though, I just want to say. But the Illumicrate edition of The Hunting Moon by Susan Dennard, which is the sequel to The Luminaries, which I actually really enjoyed. It's YA fantasy and these two go so well together. The first book had a lot of gold foil. This one has turned to silver. I also think the first one was more like orange, whereas this one has red on it instead. The edges, yes, pretty cool. Also, redesigned cover, but it definitely takes inspiration from the standard cover. Standard UK cover, I think it is. Not every nightmare is evil. Not every nightmare deserves to die. Exciting. We have the book design as well. The naked cover sort of looks like a book, which is pretty cool because the first one was camouflaged as being like this nightmare compendium. So this one says Understanding Sources, a brief history and guide. So again, it looks like a book. I like how they're just like bringing that on to the next one. We have end pages that look like this. Are they fireflies or is it just... Oh, they're birds. Wait, what? They're birds. Birds that light up. I don't know. And our two lead characters down here. So one of them is Winnie, and I forgot his name, but Winnie. And Winnie Wednesday, and what's his name? His name's not in the synopsis. Oh, Jay Friday, yes. In short, this series, the first book is about Winnie, who has kind of been thrown out of this like community of people that are basically trained to, from when they're young, to clear the forest of bodies, yes, bodies, and nightmares, who are basically monsters, creatures, stuff that's dangerous for us humans. So they are trained to deal with the forest. And Winnie is in this community, but because of her father doing something, she and her family is basically like thrown out a little bit. They're on the outside of it, essentially. So she sees these upcoming trials to become a hunter, as an opportunity to basically get on the inside of the community again. So she decides to take part in the trials so she can become a hunter and get respect back for her family. And so she asks Jay, because he's like a star hunter, even though he's pretty young, but she decides to ask him if he can help train her. And things go weird in the forest. Things don't go to plan necessarily when he finds out that the trials are not as easy as she thought they were. I don't think she thought they were going to be easy, but they were harder than she thought they were going to be. And so she lands in trouble. And yes. And there's this whole thing with her father as well. There's this whole thing with like another community that wasn't really explained in the first one. So I'm kind of like, will explanations be given? Because what? So we'll see. We will see, but I'm excited. These are pretty fast reads as well. They're basically around 300 pages total, each of them. Very fast reads, and kind of giving a little bit of horror vibes now and then, but definitely fantasy first and not super scary. Also, not a whole lot of romance in the first one. Just want to say, I don't know about that one, but the first one was basically like teasing there's gonna be a little bit of like a thing between these two characters, but it's not really there in the first one. So this next one I'm so excited for, but the one after that I'm even more excited for. So I got the Illuminated edition of The Fragile Threads of Power by V.E. Schwab, which is the continuation of her Darker Shades of Magic series. And yes, I love it. Even though I have the first 3 as collector's editions, so they are small hardbacks, small US hardbacks. This is Royal UK. And so it's gonna be taller than the others, but it's fine. I don't mind. I loved this edition from when I saw it because look at the cool, very, very cool edges. I think they're so cool. They're not aligned fully, but that's fine. They're so cool. With the Threads of Power, I get it. Have I even looked into what this book is about? No. I just saw that there was another book coming out in the series, and I was like, I'm going for it. I have no idea what it's about. But I love the series. So also we have end pages. I should open this. It's because it's signed. So like, you know, I should open it. I'm just gonna do it. Oh, please don't break. Anyway, we have end pages that look like this. And I think this might be, what's his name? Rye? And they have a daughter now. The pirate dude as well. I think that's him with the longer hair. And they have a daughter now. I don't know who this is over here. She's staring. But I guess we'll find out. Also, they have a cat. That's nice. Good for them. And then in the back, we have Kel and Lila fighting on a ship. I don't know why. I have questions. But it's definitely them. And this book doesn't start with Kel wore a very peculiar coat, which is so iconic. Like, that's how the first book starts. It doesn't even say anything about Kel, I don't think. Or maybe it does. Should we read it? It came in handy being small. I would not know. I'm huge. But I suppose. Oh, I forgot to say, but the original is white, whereas Illumicrate has changed it to red. And they also have reversible dust jackets done by Rosie Thorns 88. And I'm obsessed because I love her style. And this is great. And I don't know. I don't know. Oh, I think her name is Tess, I think. I don't know who that is, but I think her name is Tess. She looks like she could possibly be from White London, this one, but like, I don't know. I also don't want to read the synopsis for you because if it spoils anything from the first trilogy, I'm not doing that to you. So we're not gonna go about that. But basically, in short, this world, because the first trilogy might not actually have anything to do with this book, but the world is basically like London, but it's 4 different Londons. So let's say they're just like coexisting universes. You can travel between them though if you are a magician. So I forgot what the name for them are, but they have like one black eye. Kel is a magician. There's a word for them and I hate that I can't remember. Antari. Yes, thank you. So the funny thing about these 4 Londons is that one basically has like no magic. It's gray. Lila is from there. They have Red London, which is vibrant and full of magic. We have White London, which is a little bit messed up. And then no one's been to Black London for a long time. We don't talk about Black London. Black London was a disaster. Was. So one day Kel ends up in Grey London because he, without permission, tends to travel back and forth between Londons a little bit, especially Grey and Red, I think. Majorly Grey and Red, and he like takes things from one place to the other. He's not supposed to do that, but he does it anyway. He runs into Lila, who steals something from him, and then is like, I want you to take me to Red London. So they're stuck together. And things start to go absolutely nuts in these worlds. So it's great. I love the trilogy. Kind of want to reread it all of a sudden before going into this one. I should do that. I'm gonna do it. Anyway, very, very excited. I think I can safely say that V.E. Schwab is like one of my favorite authors. So just very excited. And then we're gonna talk about this gal, which I'm also very excited for. So I decided to order the Waterstones edition because, well, frankly, to be very honest, oh, this is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, by the way. But it was sold out. Like, it sold out so quickly. I have also somehow managed to get, or to pre-order, their edition of Fourth Wing. So it'll arrive maybe sometime in January or February. And it'll match with these edges. Even though I have the first print somewhere behind me. They don't match it. That's why I bought the first one as well. Because that's the US one. These are UK. There's a reason, okay? I am fully justified. But anyway, it sold out so quickly. And I just happened to check it at some point after it sold out, like a couple of hours after, and it said it was in stock. So I was like, wait a minute. That means they've canceled double orders. I'm just gonna do it. So I did it, and now she's here. I don't regret it for a moment. I would do it again. So we have edges that are stenciled that look like this, and I love them. I think these edges are great. They go very well with the cover, just like this cloudy vibe. Very simple and still very, very pretty. It doesn't really have anything on the naked cover, but it does have these end pages that are basically maybe a little bit of a, well, it's Violet and Xaden, sorry, not Shaden. Xaden, and I don't know if it's from a notebook or something. I have no idea. And I cannot believe I have not read this yet. How have I controlled myself? How have I managed to not do that? I don't know. I feel like I don't really have to talk about what Fourth Wing is about. Just know that it's writer's trial, but like dragon writer's trials, and Violet is her lead character. She's kind of thrown into this world out of the blue because her mom was like, you are not gonna be a scribe and spend your days in a library. I'm gonna throw you into action even though you're not trained for it and you're super tiny and fragile. I'm gonna do it anyway because she's psychotic. It's a thing. And so Violet finds herself in this writer's quadrant all of a sudden, doing the trials to become a dragon rider, even though it was not her first choice, but she just has to deal with it now. And these trials are super dangerous. People are dying left and right, and things are very weird at this college that she goes to. Partially because people are dying left and right during the trials, but also just like some weird things are going on. Like, I don't know, something about rebels and stuff, and secrets are being held, and the professors might not be telling them everything, and I don't know. Those are just theories though. Nothing's confirmed. I don't know a thing. I have not read this yet, and I'm very eager to, so I'm gonna put this down before I start and I forget the camera's rolling. Okay. Let's just move on. And then we have my graphic novel that I purchased during a readathon, which has not been edited and it's not up on the channel yet, but it'll be very soon. I bought the 4th volume of Lore Olympus. I love this series so much. I just love it so much. This is so heavy, like I don't really know. Basically graphic retelling, very vibrant graphic retelling, just to give you guys a little bit of taste. Why? I don't spoilers. Vibrant retelling of Hades and Persephone, but we follow mainly Persephone as she is kind of thrown into Olympus, which is, it's like a big city vibe, and there's drama, and she's just like very innocent and doesn't really know what's going on. She's finding it hard to find her place there as well. Also because she's so, I don't want to call her naive because I don't think that's what she is. I think she's just too pure to understand that maybe not everyone wants the best for her and people are scheming and stuff. And there's Hades, who likes her somehow. I mean, not somehow, because I like her, but like, I wouldn't think Hades would be the kind of, this is prejudice. I want to take it back. I said nothing. We love Hades. Okay. But, yeah, I just love the series a lot. So I bought this on a whim and I don't regret it either. And I need to read, I just like having, you know, like if I have 3 volumes of a graphic novel, I will only read the first 2. I need to have the next volume ready before I can like continue. So for example, right now I have Saga. I have read volume 2. I own volume 3, but I refuse to read it until I own volume 4. So now that I have this, I can read volume 3 of Lore Olympus. Does that make sense? It's weird, I know, but I can't help it. It's just how my brain works, okay? Yes. Also, I want to call it adult romance as well. There is romance in it. Cute vibes, but also touches on a lot of sensitive subjects, so just be aware of that. Super cute though. And the style is not necessarily for everyone, but people who read this graphic novel, I want to say the majority of them absolutely freaking love it. Definitely would tell you to give it a go if you are considering getting into graphic novels, because yes. Then we have all these books. We have my 10 romance books, I think. Some of these are pre-orders, some of them are not. Yes. So let's start with My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levine, which is I think it's actually started out as like a Raylo fanfic or something. I don't really know. I don't actually know. I can't remember exactly what it's about, except her roommate is a vampire. I love how retro this cover is. Like, this is cool. Also, ignore my chair. It's making noises. It's so annoying. Cassie Greenberg needs a new place to live and fast. When she finds an affordable apartment in a beautiful neighborhood, she knows there must be a catch. Of course, her new roommate, Frederick, I don't know how to say that name in English, J. Fitzwilliam, is far from normal. He sleeps all day, is out at night on business, and talks like he walked out of a Regency romance novel. He also leaves Cassie heart-melting notes around the apartment, always asks her about her day, and doesn't look half-bad shirtless on the rare occasions they're both home and awake. There's no denying there's a spark between them, but there's also a secret. With true love at stake. Funny. Will Frederick come clean? Because he's obviously a vampire. Yes. Wait, that was funny. Oh, the notes. Wait, that's cute. You can see the notes. Oh, I love that. I don't know when I'm going to read this, but I'm excited to. Adult romance, but with a hint of fantasy, I suppose. Of the supernatural. Yes. We have the 5th book in the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver. It's called Hopeless. I have not read the other 4. I cannot tell you what this is about. I just bought it, okay? Leave me alone. Bo Eden is the town prince, a handsome military hero with a tortured past. I'm the outcast bartender, a shy girl from the wrong side of the tracks. These all have like, they're all like cowboy centered, I think. It's a small town thing. Not necessarily cowboy, but small town vibes in the US. So all my European mind just instantly goes to, oh, cowboys. Yes, that makes sense. But also if you've seen the original covers, you know why. You understand where I'm coming from with this, okay? But they all have like they all have like different, I thought it's vegan. It says virgin instead. He's 35 and all man, I'm 22 and all virgin. He's also my fiance. Correction, my fake fiance. Thick dating. I'm sold. See, I don't regret buying it even though I've not read the other ones. I'm gonna love this. It's gonna be great. Then we have the 3rd book in the Windy City series. I actually bought this at the store the other day. I never buy books at the store, but it was Black Friday, so I just had to buy something. This was sold out on Amazon and I really wanted it, so I got it for myself. I have not read the sequel, but I have read Mile High. Didn't like fully love it. I think I had my expectations higher than the book was able to live up to, but now I know. And I'm actually pretty sure that the sequel, seemingly from what I've been told, is better than the first one. So I have high hopes again for this one. I'll lower them a little bit before reading it, I promise. I'm gonna give the book the chance that it deserves. I'm calling myself out on it, okay? Like, I realize. Do I know what this is about other than a single father and also a high-end pastry chef? No, but it's romance. I don't need to know any more than that. Romance is tropey and I'm here for it, and these are kind of smutty as well. Adult romance again, contemporary, no hint of fantasy in this one. So yes, I think this next one, it's Rebecca Yarros, The Last Letter. I think this is actually a romance, but I'm not really entirely sure. So, one final letter, his last wish, go and be with her. Beckett, if you're reading this, well, you know the letter. No, you know the last letter drill. You made it. I didn't. Get off the guilt train because I know if there was any chance you could have saved me, you would have. I need one thing from you. Get out of the army and get to Telluride. My little sister Ella is raising the twins alone. She's too independent and won't accept help easily, but she has lost her grandmother our parents, and now me. It's too much for anyone to endure. It's not fair. So if I'm gone, that means I can't be there for Ella. I can't help him through this, but you can. So I'm begging you as my best friend, go take care of my sister, my family. Please don't make her go through it alone. Ryan. Whatever that means, but that's the synopsis. I'm sensing heartbreak, but like, I don't know. I guess we'll see. And I have Assistant to the Villain. I think my book club and myself are actually reading this in December if you want to join. There's a link to the book club in the pinned comment. All I know is that this is, we follow an assistant who is the assistant to the villain, and it's a romance story. One job, don't fall for the boss. That's all I know, because I've decided to not really go in depth with the synopsis for this. I've just heard that it's hilarious and great. So, yes. I think maybe this was written on this like idea that women have a tendency to fall for the villain in stories sometimes. So the author was like, well, I'm gonna let the lead girl actually fall for the villain. And I'm very much excited to see where it goes. If that is actually where the idea sparked from, but we'll see. We will see. Super excited though. Also, it's by Hannah Nicole Mira. I forgot to say, but yes. And then we have the third book in the Kings of Sin series by Anna Huang, and that is King of Greed. I just read reviews for this today, and it seems like it's not been very well received, so I'm a little bit like, I don't know. Do I know what this is about? Exactly. No. It's the third one in a series. How would I know? I could read the synopsis, but I'm choosing not to. I've actually not read the first one either, but I really liked the Twisted series, so I have full faith on this. Like, I fully believe that I'll love the series as well, so we'll see once I get to it. Baby steps. Oh, Dominic Davenport and Alessandra Davenport. Oh, trophy wife, and then she leaves and he's like, please come back. But yes, we'll see. It says he lost her and he'll do anything to win her back. So we'll see. Sounds like a second chance. I'm okay with it now and then. It's just not my favorite trope. But yes, King of Greed. We also have Love redesigned by Lauren Asher, which is her new series. I forgot what it's called, but something like Lakeside Billionaires or something. Lakefront Billionaires. It literally says on the cover. Right there. Anyway, it's about Julian and Dahlia. If I ever caught on fire, Dahlia Munoz would fan the flames with a smile. So when she returns to Lake Wisteria, I fully intend to avoid the interior designer, at least until my meddling mother exploits my savior complex. The faster I help Dahlia find her creative spark, the sooner she will leave town. But while I was busy getting rid of Dahlia, I overlooked one potential issue. What happens if I want her to stay? And then from Dahlia's point of view, people say the devil has many faces, but I know only one. Julian Lopez, my childhood rival and family frenemy. I vowed to steer clear of him while recovering from my broken engagement, but then the billionaire makes an irresistible offer. Renovate a historic house together and triple our profits. Our temporary truce becomes compromised as we face years worth of denied attraction and mixed emotions. Giving into our desires inevitable? I can English. But falling in love. That isn't part of the plan. Sounds like not a second chance, but like longtime rivals, frenemies, enemies, and tension. Yeah. You know those two people who always bicker at each other and you just know they somehow, like, they're attracted to each other, they like each other, but like they will not admit it to anybody. Least of all themselves. Next up I have a duology, The Sinner's Duet by Sophie Lark. These came out in the UK, which means that they're cheaper for me now, so I decided to get the duology as a pre-order because that is also cheaper for me, and so I got both of them. I cannot remember what these are about at all. This is the first one, yes. There are no saints, and then the sequel is There is no devil. She knows he's no saint, but she has no idea she's dancing with the devil. Do I know what else these are about? No, not really. I think these give mafia vibes, like kind of like twisted romance a little bit. Not necessarily like super twisted, but not lovey-dovey, if you get what I mean. So like not necessarily including mafia, but still has that. You know that vibe if you've read mafia romance, that vibe. Yeah. I think these basically give that. So not rom-com, but just like twisted romance. I guess we'll see. I don't fully know. It's just what I'm getting from the covers. So, when a chance encounter throws Mara into Cole's path, her escape from certain death fascinates Cole. More than that, it fixates him. See, I think I'm onto something. I definitely think I read the situation right with the covers. There's a snake on it and they're black and white and the text is like huge. They just give twisted romance a little bit. Anyway, so I have these now. We're gonna read them at some point. We're gonna have some fun with it. And yes, and lastly, we have the sequel to Icebreaker, which no, I've not read. But pre-orders are a lot cheaper for me than buying them when they've come out. So I have it on full, not authority, but like on good faith that I'm gonna like Icebreaker. It was very hyped. It sounded like it was smutty. I can always enjoy a smutty book if I'm in the right mood. So I decided to get the sequel without really knowing. This is like forced proximity to people having a one-night stand. They end up in a summer camp where they're not allowed to fraternize, but they decide to anyway, even though he's very hesitant and she's like all for it. And sparks fly. Am I right? Russ doesn't want to risk heading home early, but Aurora has never been one for rules. As things heat up, they'll have to resist or risk starting something they just can't stop. Just go for it, dudes. It's fine. You'll be okay. Just have fun. And those were basically all adult contemporary romances, by the way. Well, except for my roommate is a vampire. There's a little bit of fantasy in there with the vampire part. But I think that's about it. So there'll probably be another book haul again, maybe in January or something. We will see. Christmas is coming up. My birthday is also in January, so usually I tend to get a lot of books. We will see if I feel like I have enough for another book haul by then. But that seemingly was actually the last one for 2023. I've been better at not buying books actually. A little bit proud of myself, but also, you can't see it, I have a full bookcase filled with unread books. And that doesn't mean I've read all of these, by the way. I haven't. So maybe it's good that I've slowed down a little bit. Hope you guys enjoyed it though. If you want to check out the books, again, there will be links to them in the description box down below. So if there was like a synopsis that I didn't do well on, or if you wanted to read the synopsis for one of the books that I didn't read it out loud for, you can go check them out in the description box. If you've read any of the books, let me know your thoughts, whether it's positive or bad. I don't care, just let me know if you want to share. And I think that is about it. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to hit the thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this from me, but also other stuff like vlogs, readathons, bookish unboxings, a lot of those coming up very soon actually. So, but also all the other booktube stuff, definitely consider sticking around by clicking on the subscribe button. That is all I got for you guys today though, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye!